1.3 billion people are living with hypertension, yet many don't even know it. This isn't just about blood pressure. It's about modern life, chronic stress, nervous system overload, poor recovery, and the silent pressure people are living under every single day. So today we're going to talk about what's really driving it. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone. It's Cameron again. I'm here with Dr. Chris Cormier. Today we're going to be talking about hypertension. Hello, Dr. Cormier.
Hi, Cameron.
Do you see a lot of patients today that are struggling with hypertension?
So many people. It's unbelievable. Have hypertension issues.
Why do you think that hypertension has become so normalized in today's society?
If you think about the world we're in, it's like a pressure cooker almost, for people. And there's very few people that are living in a chilled, relaxed, Zen type of environment. Most people are high stress, and, every single thing that goes on, every car that pulls out in front of you, every tiny little thing that goes wrong in a day, just stresses people to the gills. And honestly, so much of that is an imbalance in the nervous system, where if you're not balancing properly that fight or flight side, you stay worried, fearful so much that it really has disadvantages for your body, especially when it comes to blood pressure.
So essentially, chronic stress will affect the cardiovascular system.
100%. Remember, there's 3 different types of stress that can affect your body. And it's physical stress, emotional stress, and environmental. Now, when it comes to like hypertension, it's kind of complicated because, it's not. I think that's why people call it idiopathic hypertension when people get diagnosed, because they really don't know why you get hypertension. But the conventional side, they just put you on a bunch of meds, right? And or one med, and if that doesn't work, they put you on a bunch. And if none of those work, they don't know what else to do. But they still don't really know what the cause of it is. And ultimately, when you're dealing with a human body, it's designed by God to regulate all these things, including blood pressure. So if it's not doing that, there's some type of stress and reaction that's happened in the human body.
Let's switch gears a little bit. A lot of people with this feel very exhausted, but are having trouble going to sleep and fully relaxing. Why is that?
So if you can imagine, you want your heart, and I always talk to people about this, the brain and the heart are the 2 most important things. You have 30 trillion cells, roughly. You want your brain connected to your cells as much as possible, and you want your heart connected to your cells as much as possible. And even more, you want your brain connected to your heart connected to your brain. That's probably another podcast. Yeah. But for this one, you want to think on the heart, circulating blood to your cells, right? You should be pumping blood through arteries that go through smaller blood vessels. About 25% of the blood vessels are going to be the bigger blood vessels, and then with the arteries and veins, and then the rest, 75% roughly, are going to be the tiny blood vessels. And so that circulation of blood, from the heart back to the heart, from the heart to the cell, then back to the heart. It's a lot of circulation that has to happen, and it just takes, those arteries, as they harden, they can't. That's when this pressure develops. It's there's so many factors involved, and why would the arteries harden? There's so many different reasons as to why, like sugar, for instance. If you have a high sugar diet for a long enough period of time, if you have high glycemic spikes throughout your day, that really does not do well for the endothelial lining in your cells and in your blood vessels. So those are types of things that can cause major problems.
How important is oxygen when it comes to circulation?
Incredible. Oxygen, remember, is the number one by far ingredient in your body. And I can't even believe, we're where we are, and we have to have this discussion, but 65% of your body should be oxygen gas. But the unfortunate part is we don't breathe enough, and we don't know what we're breathing anymore. So over time, our bodies lose proper oxygenation in cells, and they get sick. And, one of the big things, and I really am a big proponent of this. I graduated in kinesiology at LSU with my undergraduate, and exercise just by and of itself with this condition is so important. Getting blood to flow, right? And getting things to move in your body. So it's not like you have to vigorously exercise every single day, but movement and exercise is so critical.
You kind of went into a little bit of oxygen. So let's talk about some other foundational pillars of health. Which ones would you like to tell us about?
Okay, so obviously I've got my OWL,
Yes.
oxygen, water, light, the top three ingredients in a human body. And all of those have factors with blood pressure, right? It's just a big thing. If you think about it, the average person doesn't breathe enough. They don't exercise enough. Well, if you're exercising, you're breathing more. They just kind of sit around, maybe doing stuff indoors, sitting on a couch like I am here, watching TV, being on the phone, not really getting any circulation to happen outside of just sitting there. So they're not getting enough oxygen, number one. And then water, a lot of times people are not drinking enough water. They're staying dehydrated, or the quality of their water is bad. And then they have light, right? So we should be getting sunlight. And there's all kinds of other ways you should get light. And under the Nerve Health Institute, we find exactly where you got weak nerves to which cells and fix them. That's complicated. But on a simple note, people just don't get enough light. They stay indoors and get indoor light, but not, God's light outside. Yes. And then, you also have frequency. It's so important, which we could get into. Every cell in your body has a frequency, and those frequencies get altered by much of our environment. And then we also have things like magnetism or grounding, which we don't touch planet Earth with our feet anymore, so we don't get enough of planet Earth's magnetism. Yes. Or grounding. And then there's also like detox, which is massive. I'm sitting here today and I just did an EBU procedure where it literally takes out 60% of all the microplastics, the heavy metals, the microbes, everything plaques that's in your blood. It takes 60% out of that, and it reoxygenates and ozonates and puts the blood back in. Literally is the greatest detox procedure ever invented, in my opinion. So because you got to get rid of some of these toxins. And then the other thing is nutrients. So you can have combinations of any of those 7 ingredients where those tanks are not full, and it can cause massive problems with hypertension, because those ingredients really are the top ingredients in a human being.
You often talk about the body's ability to self-regulate and self-heal. What interferes with that process in the modern life?
There's an overwhelming amount of things in today's world. I always tell people nowadays, this is not doom and gloom. I'm not trying to be doom and gloomy when I'm saying this, but it's getting increasingly harder every single day for a person to live on this planet, because we have so many things to contend with, and not everybody can just go live in the wilderness, right? There would be hardships there too, but our technologies are great, but there's so many things that have come with those, where there's chemicals, pollutants, toxins, additives, preservatives, EMF everywhere, and then the food's no longer God-made food. And all these are just the environment plus our physical stresses that we have to go through, all the physical stresses you've ever gone through in your life, plus any emotional stresses, which is, people don't realize this, but emotional stresses are often the culprit. It could be some emotional stress you went through that forced your blood pressure to go up. And every time, I think something that people may be able to relate to is there's people around you that make you uncomfortable. And when you get around them, you feel your blood pressure go up. Yeah. And there's situations that make you uncomfortable. It may be driving on a bridge. And that may be going back to some emotional event that happened. There's just so many things, if you think about it, that are triggers for people. And that's why I think it's idiopathic hypertension, because there's so many potential causes and puzzle pieces that lead up to a person having high blood pressure.
How important do you think consistency and daily lifestyle support when it comes to improving long-term health patterns is?
It is immensely important. And the tiniest change in your daily habits can make all the difference in the world. When it comes to conditions like hypertension, I don't think most people out there that have had long-standing hypertension are going to just do one or two things and be like, oh my goodness, my blood pressure is gone, right? It's going to be a multitude of things they need to do, because it's a lifestyle of things that got them to where they are, and they got to understand how to deal with the body better. So for me personally, I've had issues with blood pressure going up in the past. Run businesses, family, stress. I'm a full-time doctor, full-time dad. I said doctor. That's not.
You pretty much put them together.
Full-time doctor, full-time dad. Anything goes wrong when I'm at with my family, whatever. I mean, even staff members. I mean, anybody that has something, I'm always trying to fix. And so I've had to kind of shift the way I think from letting that be more pressured, which I did earlier in my career, to more like, no, I'm letting it relax. The universe is going to just happen the way it's supposed to happen, the way God intends. And it's so much of that is just a mindset. And that's a component to blood pressure, right? Yeah. There's so many other components out there. But people literally just have to start paying attention to what is making that go up. And some people don't even know it's there. They don't even know, their body's not even aware enough to know that they have high blood pressure.
For people that want to possibly make a few lifestyle changes, you do have your at-home platform called Bodychargers. Could you tell us how that can help somebody with this?
Yeah, so obviously we have help here at the Nerve Health Institute that we do so many different things to help with these conditions or with hypertension. But you can also, like with our Bodychargers community, it's a community, number one, where you go to this community called school, and it's called Bodychargers within the school platform. School hosts any niche type of market or community that's out there that wants to host it in a non-censored environment. So we're able to put this community out there. It's actually turned into my life's work, literally. So for all these years at the Nerve Health Institute, we've been doing things to help our bodies. Like, for instance, I have many things that I do to help my high blood pressure. And so many things help cumulatively. Yeah. And so with this particular platform, we wanted to help our patients 24/7, but we couldn't go with them 24/7. So we actually built out this platform called Bodychargers, this community where people can go to it and access all the things that I recommend, like all the things we talked about in this in much more detail. Yes. Like how is the human body made? It's designed to self-heal. Why is it designed to self-heal? What do I need to do to maximize my body's ability to self-heal? How can I help, with all the different stressors on this planet? What do I do? What do I avoid? That's a lot of information. And then people, if you're trying online to just go, hey, holistic help for hypertension, you're going to get a million opinions. Yes. But in my world, I've kind of siphoned through all those things that are out there for decades now. So this platform I have for people, this community, Bodychargers community, has everything that you need to know for home in order to get healthy, in order to change your generation, like change the way that your parents taught you and go for the better, right? Because that's ultimately what this is about. And we're trying to get people light years ahead of where they are.
Is there any possible strategy that you would tell us that may help somebody with hypertension?
Definitely. So breathing more. And so specifically breath work. We have in our Bodychargers platform or community, we have the 28-day self-sparking challenge. And once they become a member, we have all these little suggestions on just breathing better and doing better breathing. So if you take, let's say a 4-second breath in and you hold it, let's say for 5 seconds, and you breathe out for 6 seconds, and you could do that, for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes straight, people notice tremendous differences just by getting that oxygen in. That break in the middle creates a little bit of vasodilation, allowing more oxygen to transfer through the blood vessels and allowing those blood vessels to open a little bit instead of being constricted. So those are just some of the tiniest suggestions. We have all the way to devices that you can use to literally put in your pocket and help for frequency. So there's so much that can be done with this condition, and we have to help people worldwide. When you have 7-8 billion people in the world and 1.3 billion have hypertension, that's an epidemic, massive problem that needs to be dealt with. And people need to understand it's not just one thing that's going to do it. It's going to take a multitude of things, but it's overall lifestyle living that people need to start changing.
Is there anything else that you would say to someone that feels overwhelmed on where to begin with improving their hypertension health?
Yes. So I had a discussion with a patient earlier today. Our Bodychargers platform is community is it's a lot of information.
Yes.
So I don't want people going there and feeling overwhelmed. It's not the purpose of the community. It's literally written out in sequence for you. So you just start from the beginning. There's a start here area, and you kind of move to the next, and you familiarize yourself with our lifestyles, with everything we're doing. Everything we're doing here at the Nerve Health Institute and Bodychargers is we're trying to center people on maximizing their body's ability to heal itself, which is this God-given ability that we have. So this condition, you can overcome it. You absolutely can overcome it, but you got to do the right things. And if you just rely on conventional, you're just going to wait. They're going to mask those symptoms with those meds for many years, which can cause all kinds of other problems. It can cause kidney issues. It can cause, when they put you on a diuretic and it just takes your water out, well, then it makes you dehydrated. It's like there's so many things that those can cause. I much prefer to stay on this side as long as possible. And I'm not saying Big Pharma is all terrible, but we try to stay away as much as possible. So the people out there that are on this, you got to put some work in. You got to change your lifestyle. You got to change things incrementally. Even one habit change a day can make all the difference in the world.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Cormier. That does conclude our talk for today.
If this podcast spoke to you, or if you feel like you have family members or friends that have these types of conditions that could benefit from this particular technology, then all you need to do is become a Bodychargers member or tell them about Bodychargers. Remember, it's our community that I created to help people at home with the best technologies in the world to be able to help you to self-heal your body at home and maximize your self-healing. So go to Bodychargers, become a member. That's the easiest way to get this done. And we look forward to serving you and your family. Also, if you want a higher level of care, we have the Nerve Health Institute you can always come to. That's our clinic where we have higher level services here to be able to help you. So I hope you enjoy, and we look forward to serving you and your family, and look forward to our next podcast.